Hey guys, welcome to Double Shot of Penguins. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. He's Chris Halleck over in Indianapolis covering the NFL Scouting Combine. The Penguins are fresh off a successful return off the NHL's Olympic break, beating the Devils last night at PPG Paints Arena by a 4-1 count. Somewhat thorough, at least second and third period for the club.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway from that game, I don't know how you would ever take Malkin and Chinikov away from each other.
Well, no, you won't.
I mean, like ever. Like it's something special, man. It really, really is. I've covered games with you. I've seen, whenever like things are playing out certain ways, and I can only imagine sitting next to you whenever that one play happened where Malkin hits Chinikov and watching the way that you process that.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a couple of things to that. I know that we talk about this all the time when you're there in person, and they had a near sellout last night. I can promise you that the 18,000 and change that were there had a very different view from what was shown on TV and the way it's set up. And the principal reason for that is Gino swings back into the Pittsburgh zone. And he does that Gino thing from 20 years ago where he has to restart the engine. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And everyone on the rink knows. It's not like the Devils don't know who they're facing, what he's doing, and that he's about to come at them unapologetically and without reservation. So Gino does the big Yui in the Pittsburgh zone. And right off the bat, the crowd because Gino had already had his feet moving more than most guys through this game. Really, really solid performance by Gino's legs in this game. So kudos to Gino's legs. He just I don't know how he did it after 3 weeks, but he did. And then you realize he turns himself back to his forehand, and he sees Chinikov up at the New Jersey blue line, and so did the Devils, again, to their credit. It's not like they missed him. He was marked. Just couldn't catch him because he put on his own little jets there, that own little burst to get in. Then I'm going to keep using this term to describe him, and I hope everybody takes it in the proper spirit. That finish is detestable. Okay? if you've ever played hockey at any level of the game, you hate people like that, even if they're on your own team. Chris, am I right? You hate him.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Watch it, because that wasn't just like he's skating in and he just snipes it past the goaltender. I don't even know how to describe what he did to beat the goaltender on that one, man. That was the only thing I can, and maybe it's just because he just had a baby, but maybe that's just the new refreshed girl dad power. I don't know what it is, but man, he continues to impress. It's truly unbelievable. It's
well,
awesome
what was smart about that, what I really liked was that that Chinikov had seen other rushes go at Jacob Markstrom, who, by the way, was just out of his mind in that game. If it was a less resilient opponent, he doesn't give up anything on that night, the way he was locked in. And other guys earlier, Ricard Raquel had not one but two great chances, and on both plays, it's not like he blew it. He made really nice moves. Markstrom just beat him. Avery Hayes comes charging down the right side, goes to his backhand. It looks like he's about to rip everybody's heads off with that backhander. And Markstrom just hung tough, just stayed put. Well, what Chinikov banked on was Markstrom staying put. It's like, you're going to do that? I'm just going to do this little dink here at the end. A little bink right over the blade. That's evil. That's not
really
right.
is.
That can get you tried at the Hague.
It's so special.
And I don't like it. I don't have to like it. I don't like it. Any of us who's played this game at any level, that's not okay to do that because it makes all the rest of the entire world of hockey players feel like they were wasting their time because they couldn't do that. He's really, he's so much fun to watch in tight or in any shooting position, and that's where those who compare him to Kovalev and stuff, it's not the same. It's not the same. Chinakov's a finisher. That's not to say he can't do other things, and I'm with you. Watching him and Gino even just make passes, not just that play, but other ones in the game. That's a lot of fun here. That was terrific. That part was terrific. What did you think of the I don't want to say they're not the top line anymore. The line with Gino on it's the top line. But Hayes, Raquel, and Brian Rust.
I liked Raquel. Like you mentioned the couple of chances. Really would have liked to see something like that just end up with the puck in the net. I almost feel like we have the Raquel conversation on here so often. And I know that I've mentioned him like when you're looking at potential trade, if you're gonna look at Dallas and Jason Robertson, they're probably gonna want a player like Raquel. I'm not saying that because Raquel should be. He's a good player. He's a really good player, and he's just not getting. Yeah, but I wanted to see a little bit more though. Outside of that, it's a different thing. It's three right-handed shooters. I like Hayes a lot. Probably could have seen a little bit more out of Rust. But I think maybe it just take a couple of games because we've seen this before where they do a new line and sometimes it takes them a couple of games. Give it a couple more games.
Yeah, it's. And my thought is that it's going to take a while if it happens at all. And here's why. When you look at the chances that they created last night on that line, and they had 9 shot attempts to the Devils, 6 shot attempts when they were on the ice at 5-on-5. So it's not like they were bad.
No.
And a couple of the chances that they generated, as I just mentioned, were of high quality.
Yep.
However, Raquel and Russ have been playing with Sid for quite a while now. And what Sid wants with his guys is sustained attack, grind, preserve possession, fight until you tire the other guys out, score, raise the arms. And that wasn't in play at all. They had one shift. I'm sorry, just to complete the thought. They had one shift where they did that. And maybe that's a positive sign toward tomorrow in New York. I don't know. But Casey Kester here says in the live chat, Rust looked a little lost. He did, because Rust could score on the rush too. In fact, he had his own rush down the right side at one point. But that's not his game. And what they looked like more than anything, and part of this was because Raquel was playing center for the first time, disjointed. There just wasn't they were spread out all over the rink, including on breakouts, to the point where it was actually like uncomfortable to watch. It's going to take some work, and I don't know that it'll work.
Yeah, and you bringing up the way that Sid plays, and he doesn't like to be called it. But you talked about, I mean, even when you're describing Sidney Crosby's game, you said the word grind more than once. He's a phenomenal grinder. That's what he is. Of course, he's way more than just a grinder, but it is different. And when that's not really when you put those three together and you look at the way that they play the game and the way they would play the game together, it's not just their own individual game, but the way it fits. That's not going to be that way. The way that line would operate. So, I'm still wanting to at least give it a couple of kicks. The last thing you want to do is keep jumbling the lines and keep, but if you get to a certain point where maybe you go into New York and you don't get the 2 points that you need, and because that line just doesn't get it done, okay, then maybe it's just time to I'd at least stick with it for now and see what happens.
Guys, our friends at the Moe's Southwest Grill are having a fun thing going on over the weekend where if you're a Mo Rewards member on National Protein Day and in commemoration of National Protein Day, which I did not know was a national day.
It's a national day for everything nowadays.
You're getting extra protein on them with any entree purchase, and that starts today. And it runs through Monday. So today through Monday, you got 4 days to pull this off here. Get more of your favorite Moe's protein whenever you order in-store or online. And again, hurry. That is going to end for you on Monday. Moe's Southwest Grill is where to go for that. We have one right here at Market Square. We also have a dozen others around the region here. Looking at
I'm all about the extra protein. That's phenomenal. I'm definitely getting Moe's this weekend for sure.
Doug McKinney, a member of our channel here, brings up a neat point. He says Avery was loving playing with Rutger McGroarty. They have history. Avery's going to need to learn to work with his new line mates. I like the way you ended that, Doug, because that's actually the main point that I was going to come back at you with, which is you can't hope for your minor league buddy to make it. That's not to label McGroarty as minor league, but at the moment, the structure of your team, the structure of your roster, McGroarty's not one of your 12 best forwards. He's just not. That's not me being mean or anything. Is he better than somebody that you have as a healthy scratch? Maybe, but it doesn't matter. He's not here. I can see why McGroarty would work with Hayes. McGroarty is a rare pass first kind of winger. He can do it from all over the rink, and he's constantly aware of where his shooting line mates are. So if you look at some of the plays that Hayes and McGroarty were making in Wilkes-Barre, they were a lot like that, where he would just know where Hayes is going to be that trigger guy on a left dot. But if you don't have anybody getting him that shot, it did happen once last night. Raquel set him up beautifully. And of course, Markstrom made the stop. But he's got adjustments to make too. I'll say as far as Hayes goes, I know he didn't score, he didn't get a hat trick last night or anything. But he just belongs, Chris.
Yeah.
He's so dangerous.
Yeah, it's a pleasant surprise. When you talk about from going from an undrafted guy to first 2 games in the NHL, immediately looking like a player that can truly make an impact. No, he didn't put the puck in the net, but he's played 2 NHL games and he scored 2 goals. And in both games, probably more important than that, in both games, he's looked like a legitimate NFL player or NHL player. I was reading something right here. He's looked like a legitimate NHL player for real, and it's been, it's another breath of fresh air. Again, like one of the things with this team that's been needed is more and more of these young guys, not just coming up and getting playing time, but coming up and getting playing time and being really good. Like Ben Kindle doing what he's done, Avery Hayes coming up in 2 games, looking the way he's looked. This is exactly what this franchise needs, and that's why they're in this position now and not continuing to rebuild.
Our man Cody comes in and says that we need to talk more about this 4-man power play that other teams call a penalty kill. They're generating so much awesomeness. The players and coaches need their shine for making these units so lethal. Let's put some names to what Cody's talking about. Last night, Connor Dewar, the human shorthanded breakaway, got 2 of those in this game. Now, he's been money on those until he ran into Markstrom twice. And Markstrom, I swear to God, yawned both time. It was like, oh, geez, really, dude? Come on, man. He was unbelievable last night. I know everybody wants to talk about Silovs, and we're going to do that in a moment too here, but I was just floored by the way Markstrom played. Beyond that, you're seeing guys create off of shorthanded rushes. Brian Rust made a really nice opportunity for himself between him and Blake Lizotte. I mean, they keep attacking, and I love that mindset because it takes the opponents and their power play point people and keeps them on edge. Last night, you could tell they were going at Dougie Hamilton because why wouldn't you go at Dougie Hamilton? He has the best chance to hurt you on that power play, certainly from the back. They went right at him. They weren't going to let him have anything. And as a result, they also created offense. What does that do? Makes Hamilton a little bit more tentative. And I loved it. The PK last night, by the way, was 5 for 5. What I didn't love was some of those penalties.
Well,
go ahead. They put
no,
them
I'm
in
just saying. And I'm just saying. Anytime there's a 5 in the penalty kill column, that's not good. Like, you don't want to be doing that. Whether those are 5 legitimate penalties or you're on the wrong end of some.
Well, one was the challenge. Yeah, one was the
Right.
challenge. So that one you can obviously pin squarely on Muse, but the rest of them were, there's 2 stick fouls. There was an interference. You can't be doing stuff like that on any regular basis. You certainly don't want to do it against opponents that have strong power plays. And actually, that's the one thing that you can still say for the Rangers, the opponent tomorrow, is that they can still put people out there on the power play where you'll go, okay, yeah, they can still do that. They have many other holes, though.
They do, but you definitely don't want to be giving them 5 power plays either. That number needs to be cut down tomorrow.
No, that's accurate. Looking for some. I had a really good question here from somebody, and now I can't find it. Let's talk about Silovs.
Yeah,
let's do that. He played very well last night. He made several very, very good saves, but more important than that, he didn't get beat by anything routine. The one goal that beat him shouldn't even have counted, as everyone seemed to agree afterward. Usually you get some kind of wishy-washy. No, this was just, dude was in the blue paint and he touched his glove. End of conversation.
Yeah.
But that was it. That was the only one he gave up, and that bounced in off somebody on top of his being interfered with. So he's been very good since January 4. So it's about when you factor in the Olympic break and so forth, you're talking about a span of about 10 starts for him. Okay. I don't know that I look at him and I think to myself, there's the horse that I need to ride. I'm close to convinced that Skinner is going to start tomorrow against the Rangers. We'll see how that goes. The Rangers they're not a better team than the Devils, but the Rangers have some guys who can put the puck in the net. And that would probably put Silovs in line to start Sunday against the way better team than either of these first two in the Golden Knights. I don't even have an easy time digging up a dialogue on this because there's so many games. You just need them both. You can't say, well, yeah, this guy, he's our Connor Hellebuck. He's just going to go on and on and on. Can't do it. There's just too many games, too much travel, too much everything.
Yeah, you're going to have to rely on both goaltenders. And when you look at Silovs' last 8 games, he has a .928 save percentage in the last 8 games. He's been really good. He's just been really solid. Now, again, we can, be concerned if they play 65 minutes and the game is still tied and he's in net. That's been kind of the Achilles heel for him this season. But man, he's more often than not throughout the year, whenever it is 5-on-5, for 60 minutes or, even in a 3-on-3, he's been really good. He's made some really big saves. And we're seeing another stretch where he's been really solid. So this, and if anything, it's a blessing because you don't have to worry about, gosh, we don't have the goaltending to be able to go through this.
And on top of all that, Sergei Murashov is really starting to find some footing in Wilkes-Barre at just the right time, I might add. Frank Rice, who's about to become a member. See, I tell you all the time I don't do predictions on here, but I am predicting Frank Rice is about to become a member, because even though we're putting his thing up there, he's not a member yet. The way to do that, to become a member of our Penguins channel, and it is just for our Penguins channels, dkps.net/join Penguins. That's all lowercase, meaning the join Penguins part. dkps.net/join Penguins. That's for you, Frank. Waiting for you to pop in here as a new member, and I'll put you on the screen. It's coercion. Frank asks, hey, DK and Chris, is hockey turning into soccer with all the flopping? It's getting ridiculous when a player feels any contact with the feet that they flop. A couple of things to clarify for you. When you talk about soccer and flopping, you're talking about things that are not American soccer. There's not a whole lot of that happens in the United States. I know that when I'm over at Riverhounds matches and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, there's no appetite for that from the fans at Highmark Stadium, including when the Hounds do it. It's not a thing. Now, you're referring, I'm sure, last night to Jesper Bratt going down like an anvil had fallen onto his head that got Letang called for the interference. Bratt handled that really, really well. Like, he took one little nudge from Letang and went down as if he'd been shot with an elephant gun. This was an egregious example, and Letang was right, both to make fun of Bratt, then to punch him in the back of the head, and then to really let the refs have an earful. You would hope that Bratt gets fined for this by the league. We'll see how it turns out, but is it becoming a problem league-wide, Chris?
I don't know if it's become. I don't know if it's becoming a full-fledged. I don't watch hockey and think that I don't think it's on the same level as soccer. I think that basketball would be closer to having this problem with flopping and embellishment and everything. The good thing, at least now, granted, it's the NHL that's trying to enforce it, but there's at least a rule that penalizes players for doing this. They don't always get penalized for doing it. But
you know,
yeah, I don't know if it's a full-fledged problem, but it still happens to them.
You're allowed to call it.
Yes.
You're allowed to call embellishment minors. Refs are afraid to do it because they feel like they have to, they have to be like 1,000% right. Here's what you do. Remember, and this used to really drive people nuts because they couldn't understand, how can you have both interference and embellishment? How can it be both? Very easily. Okay, if Letang puts his hand, his right glove, which he did, on Bratt's chest, and the puck is way, way, way away from them, you can call him for interference. But then you also can tag onto that. I mean, hey, Jesper, we know you can skate, man. You're in the NHL. Okay?
That's the other thing.
So you call them both, and you don't let them get away with it. That's the way to handle this. Now, are those more complicated to call? Yeah, of course they are. Guys, we have had, before we sign off for today, several of you have asked about the coffee that Chris and I keep glowing around here. Oh, look at that. There it is. And I'm here to tell you, because I've been saying, like, we'll get to it. The new coffee that we're making in the office is coming from Defer. That's a local roastery for those of you who aren't familiar with it. You're going to be familiar with it very soon, believe me, the way they're growing. They do their own work. They have their eyes on their own paper out there. And we found out about them, my wife and I did, when they opened up in the Strip District when we lived out there. We moved to downtown, and now they have a downtown store. So everywhere we go, they go. Stuff is really good.
It is really good. It is really good.
So
sorry, John, go ahead.
So on top of that, we've been brought a machine here into the office, and it is a beautiful machine.
Might have to get a video of us like making some of this coffee with this machine, so people.
Anyway, the address down there that's at the bottom of the screen is defer.coffee/office. How your office can get this product. It's not limited to downtown or anything like that. Just go defer.coffee/office. Guys, we're going to head on over to the football show. Chris is at the NFL scouting combine. He's going to offer us the latest on the Steelers, and we're going to have a lot of fun over there too. Thanks for being with us, not just today, but all week. We got a nice little thing that we're building up here. Our numbers keep going up and up and up. That's nice. I'm sure that has a little bit to do with how the hockey team is performing as well. We'll see you guys on the Penguin Show next week. Steelers coming up next.